quite eager to get you guys in the locker room at halftime and express himself at a certain volume, I understand. What was expressed? What was that scene like for us to kind of get things together?
First off, I gotta give all thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, putting me in this position, such a blessing, playing in front of thousands of people and fans. So, but it was tough. I mean, coach was on us hard at halftime, but rightfully so. We weren't playing to our capabilities. We weren't playing as physical as we could. So we know what we had to do coming out of the locker room and into the second half.
So can you just talk about coming out of the half, the big block that you had, and then the three at the other end, and how that kind of changed the complexion of this game?
Yeah, I knew we needed some momentum coming out of halftime. It wasn't even just coach; it was also Coach Gavin, our strength coach, who gave us a big lift and was talking to us, gave us a lot of energy going into the second half, and we got fired up. And a big part of our turnaround was Coach Gavin and all the coaches just getting on us and continuing to believe in us. But yeah, I think that was really it.
How about the you gave the team the lead for good with 3-point play, and they had 4-point play. That's that'll right there. How big was that for you guys? Obviously.
Yeah, I'm happy. I think with that, just being in the flow of the game, and I'm just happy we were able to turn it around. It was a really rough start. And the way that we were able to turn it around, just not even with those plays, but the defensive stops that we had to get before that, and even after those possessions, that we locked in on defense, and that's what helped us win the game.
Are you aware that, I know that there's been a lot of talk about you and Jordan Hawkins and his similar careers and similar players. Are you aware that he had a sort of a knack for the 4-point play during when he was here? Has anyone ever told you that? Or?
I kind of heard about that when whenever you get a 4-point play, I see one time it was he got a hawk 3, and I was kind of laughing about that. And then I kind of remember a couple plays where he would do that. So I mean, he's a tremendous shooter. I'll always look up to him.
Well, have you watched a lot of his film when he was here? It seems like they run a lot of the same kinds of things for you that they did for him.
Yeah, I definitely watched a lot of his film. I watched a lot of Cam. I watched a lot of Tristan too. Just when they were here and how they handled themselves with each team they played with, and I think it's definitely helped me this year for sure.
In terms of coming off screens and things like that.
Absolutely, and I know one thing I have to get better with is just being more physical with the screens, because I know we're in the Big East. They're not going to call much, so just being more physical coming off those screens, and yeah.
Aidan, how much does Alex, obviously the 1 for 14 tonight kind of draws the eyes, but he had 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Just how much does he affect the game without necessarily scoring?
Yeah, AK is a winning player. Obviously, that goes without being said. I mean, he's 2 for 2 on national championships, and not a lot of people, if any people, can say that. But he's a winner, and he affects the game in a lot more ways than just scoring. That's why he played 40 minutes tonight while he was shooting 1 for 14. But honestly, I think it's also growth that he shot 14 shots. I think in the past he might have held up a little bit once he went 1 for 5, 1 for 6, 1 for 7, and so on. And all of us know what he's capable of and know that we need him to be a guy that's putting up 10 plus shots every single night and being ultra aggressive. So super happy for him to be able to affect the game in a lot of different ways. And he's the leader of the team for a reason and the best winner in college basketball for a reason, and it's not because of his scoring, it's because of his intangibles.
That aggressiveness, it seems like that's something that coach is asking from all of you guys. Is that something that's kind of kept you confident and comfortable in what your role is?
Yeah, I mean, coach has been real good with me throughout the season, just pushing me to be more aggressive. And he does that with everyone. I mean, he's a coach's player, or a player's coach, sorry. That didn't make any sense. Player's coach. And you see it, when he's interacting with guys after big plays, obviously, like the big sparks that everyone sees on the social media apps and whatnot. But it's really just in practice and games and film and whatever. He's a real good dude, and couldn't be more happy with the decision to come here and play under him.
Aidan, he has said that if this team is going to go where you all want it to go, you're going to have to be a big part of that. Are you feeling some momentum and some confidence right now yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. I think just going back to coach, him, continuing to push me throughout the season. Obviously, it's been a lot of ups and downs, and him just continuing to rock with me has been big. But yeah, I mean, he's pushing everyone to be more aggressive, and I think it's worked out real well for us so far. And hopefully Liam gets back soon and everyone gets to full health. But in the meantime, everyone's gonna have to step up like we did tonight.
So at a time with Liam out, and obviously they're doing a good job defending Alex tonight, how much pressure do you feel coming out of the half to maybe take some more shots, search your shot a little more, and do the kinds of things that you did?
Yeah, usually when I go into games, I don't really have like real pressure. It's just I kind of have the mentality that I've kind of been here before. I played in big games. I had to start in 10 games last year and play in some of the biggest environments, like playing in Kansas, playing against North Carolina in the Garden. So I knew I was prepared. I knew I've always been prepared, and all the work, I just have to trust it all the time.
So Coach talked about playing through frustration. That's how you punch the padding and lift the basket. How you wouldn't deal with this last year. How is this group, particularly the veteran players who experienced a lot of winning, dealing with fighting through these tough games?
Yeah, I think we're all just uplifting each other. We all make mistakes, and the one thing about our team right now is that we're all making the same mistakes with defensive mess-ups and stuff like that. So, I mean, we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to fix our defensive mistakes and everything to become a better team.
How second half today help this group, you think?
Yeah, it helped us tremendously. The more we were able to be together and work as one, it just turned the game around as a whole, and that's how we had a big turnaround. Like, we were down 10 in the first half or over 10, and we ended up turning around and ended up winning by 11. So, I mean, it wasn't the best turnout, of course, because, I mean, the start that we had, but the last 26 minutes were UConn basketball.
Anything else for these guys?
Yes, so you take the last 26 minutes for UConn basketball. You see they shot 50% in the first half and 30% in the second half. Is that kind of what you're referring to there, that you guys put both things together in that second half?
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach actually referred to it, too, in the locker room after the game, just like the last 6 minutes of the first half, like that's how we have to play going into the second half. And that was one of the first things he said when they came back in the locker room. So, and then we had to finish out the last 20 minutes just with everything in our body able to just fight the rest of the game.